was the story of Solomon and David. Sulaiman alayhi salam and Dawood alayhi salam. And the story of Solomon is that he was one of the greatest kings of Israel in the Bible. He established the temple, which is now the Temple Mount, which is what the Jews are trying to destroy Masjid al-Aqsa to rebuild, thinking that their Messiah is going to come, which is just going to be the Dajjal, so I don't know what they're in a hurry for. But there's another story about Solomon in the Bible, where it says that Solomon once became so weak in his faith that he worshipped idols. He committed shirk. Shirk ad-din, the greatest shirk. And I'm like, okay, God's prophet is now worshipping other gods. So what if people followed him? Would they be right or would they be wrong? This is God's prophet. So I'm like, yeah, that's a serious problem. And now I get to the story of David. And this is where I had to say, okay, enough is enough. How many of you know the story of Dawood wa Jalut? Dawood wa Jalut, David and Goliath, where David killed Goliath. You should all know the story. If not, you need to go pick up a Qasas al-Anbiya, inshallah. There's another story about David that's, again, not so great. It's a story of a David and a woman named Bathsheba in the Bible. Bathsheba is known as a very beautiful woman in the Bible. She was very gorgeous. And David saw her sunbathing one day on her porch. And he decided that this woman was so beautiful he had to have her. So he went and he slept with her. The only problem is she's married. And she's married to one of the commanders of his army named Uriah. And so David committed adultery, a sin punishable by death according to his own law. And now David has to figure out how to solve the problem. He feels bad about what he did, so he says, okay, let me fix the problem. Do you think he fixes the problem by repenting and becoming a better person and, admitting his sin? Nope. He sends a letter to his army saying when the battle is fierce, because they were fighting in Philistine at the time, he said, when the battle is fierce, I want everyone to abandon Uriah so that he dies. So they did that. Uriah was killed, and now David is able to have Bathsheba, and nobody can say a thing. So he committed adultery and then covered it up by committing murder.